What is up, everybody? You know, I always start this show off by showing love to those companies who help make this podcast possible. Guys, first and foremost, is my friends over at CompanyCam. I've been saying this for years that I've been partnered with CompanyCam. If you run any kind of trade company, I don't care if it's HVAC, plumbing, electrical, roofing, uh, pest control, you name it, CompanyCam is a must. It integrates with almost every CRM on the market, and they are slowly adding more and more features every time you turn around. I'm going to go briefly over some of these different ones that most people have already heard. The big thing is going to be the photo and video capture ability. And this goes way beyond what you would have in a normal iPhone or Android phone as far as what it allows you to do and the data that it gets behind it. Where you took the photo, it timestamps it, it geotags it. You can tell exactly where you were standing when the photo was taken. It is absolutely amazing what this does. The annotations that you can do inside to be able to market, to tell your management team, your sales team, your installers, the homeowner, whatever it is, being able to draw inside of these, tag them, and do different stuff, it is absolutely amazing, all of the stuff that you can do. You can build things with galleries and timelines if you need to send before and after photos, start and finish, whatever you want to call it, to your customers in a professional manner that is pre-built templates. It makes it easy. You just pick the photos you want. It pops it in there. You can send it right to your customers. Another thing with this that I'm going to go before I say it that they have in there now is the AI note taking. The AI will listen and actually summarize all of the stuff that you've done and build professional notes for you, so you don't even have to do it. CompanyCam respects all of us as technicians, our time, that we don't have all this time to be sitting out there writing notes and doing this. And CompanyCam thought of it with the AI note taking. It's absolutely amazing. You have your project feed that's going to have all of the jobs that you're involved in, that you're supposed to be, that you were on, to be able to see. It's instantly updated. If somebody takes a photo, takes a video, it will automatically show up instantly. There's no lag, no delay. And there's also in-app communication to keep crews in constant communication. A lot of people use this. The last company that I was with, the install department, this is the only app that they used. This is how they communicated with the salesman. Hey, what's going on in this job? Are we supposed to replace this humidifier? Hey, you said to replace this line set, blah, blah, blah. All those kind of questions were answered right in one app, and it made it super, super seamless and super easy. Everybody loved it. So anybody out there, I promise you, go check out CompanyCam. On the ticker, you'll see if you go to companycam.com/HVAC Uncensored, they will give you a free 14-day trial just to check it out. I promise you'll like it, but try it out free for 14 days. If you do like it after the 14 days, they will give you 50% off your first 2 months just for being a part of HVAC Uncensored Nation. With that being said, go check out my friends over at CompanyCam. Next but not last but not least, sorry about that, is Camel City Mill. I know a bunch of you are like, man, Gil, these socks are expensive. I don't want to pay that much for socks. I'm telling you guys and gals, I'm sorry, to try these out. These socks are amazing. They are warm. They are comfortable. You can have them in all different. Now they have them in all different. They have ankle, the crew, the boot, whatever you want. These are the only socks that I will put in the boots from now. That's all I do. I always say we worry so much about the boots we buy, and we should. You're in the field, you're on your feet all day, you got to be comfortable, but we should also be worrying about the socks that we put in said boots, especially in the summertime. You guys know how it is. Your feet sweat, you come home and take your boots off, and it smells like something died. Not anymore. These are going to keep your feet nice and, they're not going to be all sweaty and all nasty. Should you buy these to wear every day? No, I get it that they're expensive, but should you buy these to at least put in your work boots and wear to work and be a part of your work uniform? 100%. I live by these socks. I love these socks. Everybody who has tried these socks has told me they're amazing. So I highly suggest that you try them out. And I have a discount code. So if you use the discount code Uncensored, it will save 10% off of your order. Guys, go try them out. And anybody who has used them, please email me at hvacuncensored@gmail.com. I would love to know your experience wearing these socks. And with that being said, man, let's get on with the show. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. God bless the United States. And thank you to all those men and women who defend it.
Welcome to the #1 rated HVAC podcast. If you're looking to grow in the HVAC industry, then you're in the right spot. Blue collar people talking about blue collar shit. Let's get better together. So turn up the volume, buckle your seatbelt, and let's welcome your host, Gil Cavey Jr.
What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the HVAC Uncensored Podcast. I'm your host, Gil Cavey Jr. Here we are, another Wednesday, another hump night, and another amazing show for you. I want to thank you guys for being here. I want to shout out some of my people here in the chat. I also want to say that there was no audio podcast out this week. I will put it out next week. Rookie and some people who know, Mama was back in the hospital, so she's back, she's home, but we had to go through all that. So kind of a rough week, but everything is good. I also, even though I'm a bad friend, and he tells me, happy belated birthday to Mr. HVAC rookie, Mr. Scott. He turned 156 years old last Friday. But nah, just kidding, man. So if everybody can say a happy belated birthday to Mr. HVAC rookie, man, I appreciate you, brother. And sorry I was tied up and did not text you on your birthday. I know I'm a horrible friend. With that being said, man, thank you to the people in the chat real fast. Obviously, Rookie is here. What is up, my man? Freon Leon, what is up, brother? See who we got. Mr. Zeke, what is up, bro? Thank you for being here, my man. And East Coast, thank you for being here. What's up? What's up? Mr. Nasty, what's up, brother? And make sure I don't miss anybody. Sweetheart, relax. Mr. Jason Johnson, what's up, homie? Why do I feel like I'm missing somebody? I'm trying to get you real fast so I can get this going. Mr. Just Work, what is up? What's up? Thank you for being here. I think that's it. But anyway, thank you guys all for being here, man. I have an amazing show. And my daughter Riley is here. You guys know Riley. She likes to, come hang out on the show, but shh, keep it down. Guys, I have an amazing show for you tonight. You guys know a topic that I love to talk about. A lot of you know some of our friends that are in the trade. Also this guest, I feel horrible. You guys know me with cancellations and stuff like that. And this guest, I've had to cancel several times. So I'm super excited to have her on tonight. And without further ado, we're just going to get into it. You guys could please put your hands together and help me welcome the executive director of the Women in HVACR, Miss Amy O'Grady. Hello, hello.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Yes, thank you so much for being here. And like I said, thank you so much for the patience. I know we had quite a few schedule conflicts, so I thank you for sticking with it and coming on. So I really, really appreciate you being here.
Well, I'm excited to be here. It's my first live recording, so that'll be exciting. But I did start to think you were a ghost or a myth or some legend that was not in existence in real life. Maybe you were like an AI bot. I don't know. But so I'm so glad we got our schedules aligned. I know that's a hard thing to do with busy people as both of us are.
Yeah, no, it definitely happens. And I feel horrible canceling on people because I respect their time. And and normally it never happens more than once to the same person. So that's why this one was weird. But anyway, you're here. We're doing this. And I guess if we start off, let everybody know a little bit about you, Amy. I know you have a really, really cool story.
Yeah. So I am the executive director for Women in HVACR. I'm the first executive director for the organization. They brought me in just short of a year ago. So I grew up in the air conditioning industry by trade as a licensed contractor for my family's business. And in the same amount of time, I've been an executive director for other organizations. So how I was introduced was through one of my mentors who mentioned me to Ruth King, one of our original founders. And then she introduced me to the current sitting board. So it was one of those things that really was something that you couldn't really go online and find. it just happened through, all of the great timing of, my career, as well as the connections that you make within the industry that really help promote you up. So it's a great story that I love to tell.
Well, and that's awesome. Congratulations. What Women in HVACR has been able to do so far and what they're doing is absolutely amazing. Everybody that I've ever met from there, I've had several people on. Miss Colleen, Miss Ruth King has been on. Several people. It's always been amazing, and I love. I love what they're doing, and the fact that I've been able to meet so many, badass women in this trade, in this industry, from all different aspects, whether they're actually in the field, being a technician, an installer, working for different, trade related companies. It's been absolutely amazing. So you said you grew up in the trade. So can you elaborate a little bit about that?
Yeah, so I originally went to school for a different trade, not air conditioning. I went to school to be an apparel designer. And then I was recruited into my family's business after working in different corporate retail roles, really to run the marketing and structure some operations. And then that led me into wanting to study and become a licensed contractor as I continue different roles and different leadership in running operations. I thought the best way to work with a team is also to know the knowledge behind what you're teaching or expecting from your team. So I did a lot of self-study on my own to become a contractor. And then the rest is history.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I always say that I love, like I said, I love seeing the women in the trade, and I've always wanted the privilege to be able to hire one. And I've never even had the opportunity or the luxury to even interview one, which sucks. Hopefully one day that will happen. Just seeing some of the, like I said, the amazing women that have been on this show and seeing what they're doing is absolutely amazing. And I know it's only going to get better from here. We're kind of at the infantile stages. I guess I would like to. You would think that most people would know this, but if you had to kind of summarize what the Women in HVAC are, like kind of what your mission statement, like what you got, your goal is. If you would be able to, explain that or put that in the words so these dumb men technicians in the chat could understand.
Of course. Our organization is a national nonprofit. So we actively work to recruit, promote, and retain women within the air conditioning and refrigeration trade. So how we do that is through a few different programming options. So one, we have a mentor-mentee program. We call that our navigator program, where we directly match women throughout different verticals of the industry with mentors based on what the mentee is looking to do within their career or within their company if they're not looking to change what role they're currently working in. So beyond that, we also have a variety of educational programs that we put on throughout the year to help women both with technical knowledge as well as soft skills. And we do this through the help of our partners and sponsors to bring us the most current and accurate tools to allow us to be current in what we're teaching the women as far as education. So if there's a new product rollout or there's a new strategy as far as to use in your business, we get our sponsors to bring that directly to the women in a one-on-one scenario as far as education. So another way that we really facilitate this as well is we do a scholarship program to women entering the trade, as well as there's opportunity if you're working to further your education within your role, we offer scholarships to that as well. And one thing that very few people realize is if you are a student within the trade, we will give you a free membership to our organization. So we really believe in really educating women and removing any obstacle as they're trying to get into this trade, that we want to give them all the benefits that we can offer them.
That's awesome. Yeah. And I've seen a lot of things that you guys do firsthand. So everything you said, I know most of them, but just, to educate people out there. I know a lot of people see the logo and the symbol, but just to completely understand all the great work that you guys do and you ladies do, and for what what you stand for. Um, how many members you guys up to now? Roundabout.
We have, oh, yeah, yeah. No, that's fine. I'm paid to know these members, so I don't mind. We have over 1,300 members that are within our organization, and we just launched a variety of new membership bundle options and sponsorship options. So we foresee that this number is going to increase with our new partnership alignments that we have planned for this upcoming year. So it's an exciting time to be part of our organization. We've had massive growth in the last 3 years with the partners that have come in to help us facilitate and reach more women or girls that are interested within the trade. And one partnership in particular that is really helping us with this is our Synchrony Financial Partnership. They awarded our organization $100,000 towards our endowment, which we are actively working to grow our endowment to $1 million so we can give scholarships to women in perpetuity and never have to worry about having funding to do so.
Nice. That is awesome. That is really, really awesome. I was curious when it comes to your scholarships, is it like people pick like a trade school and then you guys pay for those funds, or do you have certain schools that you work with? Like how does that process work?
It's nationally qualified, so you don't have to go through your school. You can be nominated by a professor. You can nominate yourself. At the end, upon awarding, we just have to have proof that you are enrolled in a program that is geared or structured towards the trade, or you're already in the trade with an employer and you prove that to us and you're getting additional education to further your career. So there's some qualifications within that programming, but it's very easy. You can apply all year long. We cut off the nominations in June, and then we make our awards in October. And we pay for our scholarship attendees or awardees to attend our national conference. So that way they don't also have to have that burden. We bring them out to our conference every year. We award them live on stage, and then we directly fund their institution.
Nice. No, that's awesome. I love hearing that. Um, so I guess if you had to, I guess I'm trying to think of the best way to word this. What do you foresee, like maybe in the next 5 years, as far as like the amount of women getting into the trades? Because I see it going up drastically. What is realistic to you guys? Like what do you see, happening in the next just couple of years?
Yeah, I definitely think we'll see a growth in the percentage of women within the trades. And I think that's just based on, a really strong focus on visibility. And that's what our organization does. I think about just the time and how our organization started was a few women gathering in a room at a conference table because they didn't have the same amount of women to collaborate with that they saw in other organizations and other trades. And now we have so many women that come together. We had over I believe almost a little bit short of 600 people at our last conference that registered. So just to go from a few people at a round table to be able to gather almost half of our database to actually come and be in attendance at one conference annually is pretty amazing. So the more that we gather and get together, and we also help with our ambassador program, other organizations and schools and areas to represent what women look like in the industry at trade shows, at local schools. So all of that really compounds to create a lot more visibility nationally with both our organization and just women in general and the other companies that are really supporting women hand in hand with us.
Yeah, and one thing that I really love about you guys is you also show support to all of these other things like that, so it makes it easy. Like I always say, I love the community that is built. Like one of the best places to see it is like the HVAC Tactical Awards. You see all these different influencers and people, and everybody supports everybody. Like this group supports women in HVACR. At the same time, women in HVACR supports this group. And I just love that kind of relationship. And I really think that stuff like that is what is going to take our trades in general to the next level and kind of set the standard for where we should be versus where we are, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I totally understand that. And I would say it's definitely a cultural thing for our organization is that we believe that anything we do is promoting the trades as a whole and helping to close those skills gaps. I know we talk a lot about women, but we also have a lot of male supporters. Anything we can do to just bring more technicians in as we have the aging technicians leaving is really important to us. Our focus right now this year is on contractor memberships because we feel that that really needs a lot more attention right now with the climate we're in within our industry and the labor shortage. So we create a lot of partnerships alongside of our sponsorships because we know we work with a lot of other nonprofits that really have the same goal and missions at heart that we do. So we think it's very important to support them equally, because we're asking for that support. We need to give it back in return.
Yeah, no, that makes perfect sense. And one thing that I tell people, and this is to the men out there, I know it's not any of people in my chat, but I've heard from people, and the fact that the trades have always been a manly thing, and that's what you think. So you think, oh, if a woman gets on, she's got to be manly and stuff like that. And that's the furthest thing from the truth. If you look, these are beautiful women that are getting to the trade. Some of them are girly girls, and the sad part is they're outworking some of the men. And I think as a man, and most of us are, but as a whole, we need to start to accept this, that times are changing, and there are some amazing women coming in that they're kicking ass. I mean, just to say it that way, they're absolutely doing awesome things, and I love bringing them on here and hearing their stories. And it's like seeing, um, like Miss Rachel Martin just won, one of the awards at the Tactical Award. Absolutely amazing. Jennifer Manzo, one of my good friends, what she's doing. I don't know how that woman does everything that she does. So just seeing that stuff and seeing those people to be able to get highlight and be able to set the standard for other women coming into the trade, I absolutely love everything to do with it.
Well, we definitely recognize that women can show up in a lot of different forms and identities. I'm privileged to work with a full volunteer board within our organization that come from all different verticals of our industry. And I learn daily from their expertise within their different roles. But I definitely agree with you that we can't really stereotype it into one image of what you think a woman within our trade looks like. I know personally I have my own style, but I cannot show up in a dress to climb an extension ladder on top of a condo when I'm giving a quote. So there's definitely some things that have to be changed and altered. And I appreciated you earlier in your intro, reminding everyone gals also wear socks. And we should be included in that conversation. I really struggled to find utility pants that I felt comfortable with when I was in sales in the field. And that's something I imagine a lot of women also struggle with if you don't want to have to change into wearing tactical pants that are technically designed for a man. So I think the conversation is still open there on ways we can improve and make the lives of women coming into our trade a little easier. But I'm sure someone's probably already working on it now, and I just haven't seen it.
Yeah, but you're right though. It's a whole nother market for people to be able to go because we do wear different stuff. And what makes me a story that I think about, I just read it somewhere where it was a girls basketball player that was going to buy Steph Curry's shoe, and it got small enough where it was only in boys. And she wrote him a letter and said, "Hey, I just want you to know that girls wear your shoes too." And Steph Curry actually wrote her a letter back and said, "You're absolutely right. I'm going to send you a pair of shoes just for you. And I'm also working with Under Armour to make this change so that it gets adopted over." And I know it's not relevant to the trades, but it's relevant to, things being different, and having to change as far as like, availability for things when it comes to women, getting into the trade. And I do think that we are at the beginning stages of that. And that's what makes me so excited is all the amazing things that have happened. I still feel like we're only scratching the surface.
Yeah, I'd agree with you. There's a lot of things that we accomplish every year at Women in HVACR. And we're like, we are just getting at the surface of it, but it feels like so much all at the same time.
Yeah, and if a lot of people don't realize, like, there has some been extremely, like you mentioned, Miss Ruth King. Like, if you guys go back, and she's been on all of the major podcasts. I was fortunate enough to have her. It's been a little bit now, but she is a badass woman. I mean, the stuff that she has been able to accomplish is absolutely amazing. Like, so like there's some heavy hitters in this industry. It's, there's a lot of people that have built this organization up to what it is, like Amy and stuff like that. And these people are volunteers, they're volunteering their time to build this up. So that's huge. And if you touched on it earlier, but people don't realize the power of volunteer when you volunteer to do something. Like, that's you have to be passionate in what you're doing to donate your time to a cause.
It's true. It's definitely a labor of love, but I think that every one of the volunteers that we've had within the organization, both currently and previously, just are truly passionate about representing, their vertical, representing women as a whole, and then making it easier. We like to call it, even in our mentor-mentee program, that we really collapse time by being able to bring expertise from someone who's already walked that walk to another generation faster. So that way it doesn't take, having to go through years of experience in it. If someone can just help guide you and show you the path that was successful for them or could possibly be successful for you.
Yeah, I can imagine that's got to be powerful for some of these young ladies that come to these, conventions or seminars, and they're hearing people like that talk. That it's, and I can imagine, and I don't want to make this sound the wrong way, but I can imagine it's got to be overwhelming for some women because they are entering a predominantly male trade. So when they can hear somebody that's taken this path before and what they've done, that's got to be a powerful story to let them know, like, hey, you can do this, and the foundation's been laid. You guys just have to follow, create your own path, but that it can be done, kind of thing.
Right. And I would say what's great about our industry is there are so many roles that you can fill. So where sometimes you might think, well, this is what I see because it's what I know as air conditioning. So maybe you only think you can be a technician, or you only think you can be in sales, or only in the office. And that's one thing that gets said to me a lot when I'm out at events is, well, I'm only this person. But every role is so important in the success of an air conditioning company, of a distributorship, of a manufacturer. So we cannot diminish the power of every individual role. So we need to, show that as an example to women that you don't have to really just go this one path. There are so many paths. And we try to be really cognizant in that in our current leadership on our board, that we're representing different areas. And then also when we go out into the field at events throughout the nation, that we're really representing that as well with our ambassadors.
Yeah, no, that's awesome, and I agree. It's I've been fortunate enough to work with so many amazing women in this industry that I have learned just as much from them as they've ever learned from me. I've been fortunate, to be, a general manager and run, some pretty big HVAC companies, and I've also been fortunate to have some amazing women work for me, with me, and to be able to see what they in all different aspects, whether it's been a dispatcher. I haven't been fortunate enough to have a technician, like I said, work for me necessarily. I've worked with some, you know, in the management role, in the marketing, and whatever it is, and just seeing some of the things they've done has been absolutely awesome. I will say this: one of my friends in here, Mr. Zeke Warner, I don't know if he's still in here. His service manager, Kimber, is a badass woman. She is, been in the trade. I want to say she's only been in the trade like 4 or 5 years. Got her license in the state of Maryland, service manager, and she's absolutely awesome at what she does. So I did training there, so she didn't work for me. I was training some other people, but being able to see what she does and seeing that kind of stuff, I love it.
We get a lot of questions on how to recruit women when we're out and about, and then also through our website. And, there's a variety of ways to kind of take on that approach. What I've seen in different states can be effective based on if they have apprenticeship programs. So, one way in the state of Florida, for instance, is if you have a technical program that already exists, you can usually go in and offer to do mock interviews, which will then introduce you to the students that are within the program. So you might be able to meet a male or a female candidate that eventually could be a good fit in your company that might not necessarily have applied directly on your website or found you on Indeed if you had a job posting, but it's a great way to just get in the school, interact with the students, help develop the students, as well as be introduced to a variety of hiring options at that level. But there's other ways too that I have seen with other large corporations, such as, a Target or a bank like Wachovia or Wells Fargo, is they will recruit from other strong organizations that mirror their values or their core structure. So that's something I've also seen air conditioning companies do, is actively search if there is a crossover, say like an enterprise where they're doing a lot of selling and they want to hire a female sales rep, that you can usually get a lot of that skill and then teach them the industry, because they might not have really sought out our industry originally because they didn't realize there was that opportunity or even the financial ability to make a wonderful income within that sales role.
Yeah, no, and I've actually talked to, especially in the residential market, a lot of times when we go to homes as men, you're dealing with the wife. The wife is home, and I've building relationship with customers, and I've always joked and told them, I'm like, when you have somebody come to your house, I'm like, who would you feel more comfortable talking to? Would you feel more comfortable talking to a woman or a man? And a lot of times they're like, well, of course, they're like, I would talk to any, either of them. But a lot of them were like, yeah, I would love to be able to talk to a woman. So a lot of women, I want them to realize that, they have a huge place in this industry, that they're powerful and they could do. I'm probably going to piss off some men, but I think in some situations they can do it better than we can, to be quite frank.
Well, I'm not adding a comment to that one, but I don't know your audience that well, but I did see one asked to question me on changing a capacitor, and I think that's really the only thing that women really have to sometimes prove when they're in the home, is they have to build that trust, really knowledge and the expertise to close that sale. But I think one women that within those sales roles have had that training and have that expertise, that they can do that very quickly. And you would be very surprised how wonderful those closing ratios are within those organizations that have those female leads out there in the field.
Yeah, no, for sure. Let me see those guys. Yeah, be careful here, man. Have respect. Don't be speaking nonsense in there. Yeah, no, and and one thing that I've always there is something that I want to go into, but before I forget, sorry, it's squirrel. They always say I get these different things. Damn, now I forgot where I was going to go. Oh, is when parents talk about, a lot of people say that, oh, I love the trades and trade school, and I would, I support it. But then you say, oh, would you let your children go into the trades? And like, oh, well, I want them to go to college. Um, I have 4 children, 2 boys, 2 girls, and I want them to do whatever makes them happy. But if my daughters came to me and said, hey, dad, I want to do what you do, or I want to go into the trade, I would 100% support them. And I feel like we need to start changing that as a society to make it the norm. Like, I'm not saying don't go to college. People should go to college for hard skills. But a lot of people are going to college and they're wasting money because they're just going to college for the sake of saying they're going to college, when these same people can be in the trades, and within 4 or 5 years, you can be making a really, really good income. I had kids under 25 that my listeners hear me say all the time, but it's something I'm proud of, that I had, probably 6 people under the age of 25 making $100,000+ a year. Some of them said, "Hey, I make more than my parents do." Um, and I wear that as a badge of honor because that makes me feel like I'm helping the next generation. And that can only happen for more and more people.
Of course. So we are seeing something pretty amazing in the state of Florida where we have a variety of colleges really recognizing the trades. So they're actually bringing in trades programs as part of their curriculum, both construction, air conditioning focus. They're trying to heavily partner with local organizations that offer apprenticeship programs, to have pre-apprenticeship programs. So children within high school can start taking these courses that will directly feed within a college program outside of just our trade schools. So I'm really excited to be a part of that. I would really recommend anyone who's not actively following your Department of Education or sitting in on workshops that they list those meetings publicly in most cases, where you can be a voice for how to better introduce the trades. Right now, the biggest gap was in our middle school programming for the anything trade related or technical school. So really introducing career pathing outside of our traditional colleges is the gap in middle school in the state of Florida. From my perspective, I have high school and middle school age boys, and just knowing how they've been introduced to it beyond just it being a role that they've seen in their family, it's very limited. They often partner technical knowledge or exposure with programs such as ballet and band, where we know those are very extensive and unrelated. So, we really have to stop allowing that to happen in our education system. So there's more focus on introducing trades work, and then an opportunity or a pathway to introduce them into testing a few courses before they make the full commitment. And I think that's where there's a lot of hesitation. And just from a standpoint of parents, I know you mentioned that at the beginning, is there is a hesitancy because what we've seen in the past is they'll put trades programs attached to an underprivileged school in a different school district that maybe requires more transportation. And that doesn't really facilitate that at all, in my opinion. So what we really need to push our educators is anytime you can introduce it or introduce an introductory program within an education program where they don't have to leave their current school, that is the way that we're going to really move the needle on this.
I agree 100%. And the vocational school, the VOTEC, at least in Maryland where I am, has been horrible. From when I was in school to now, it's non-existent compared to what it was. And I truly feel like that needs to come back. Around here, it is a different building, but they do provide the transportation. But I agree that if we need to make it easier to get on, because it's so many well-paying jobs out there for the taking. I mean, we're understaffed. We have people retiring faster than people are coming in to the trades. That it, we're losing that kind of leverage or that kind of lane to bring in the next generation because of the vocational schools and not having that, and people not knowing it's an option. Like what you just said, for me, I'm second generation. My dad did this. I grew up doing it. It was a different story. That's why when I bring people on the show and I let them tell their story, that's what you expect to hear. And a lot of times you do. It's, oh, my dad did it. My uncle did it. My grandfather, yada, yada, yada. But you are starting to hear more. No, my dad's a lawyer or whatever. My mom does this. I needed a job and I went here and got into it. So you're hearing it more, but those stories are less and less. So I feel like the more opportunities, the more we get this in front of people, it's only going to help us grow even more.
Right. And if anything, if Women in HVACR can be a model for you as far as volunteer leaders coming together for a cause, I think a real gap in education is the contractors who have this wonderful technical knowledge from years and years of experience. It is really needed for them to volunteer back and be an educator and a professor. Of course, the money doesn't correlate as well as being a contractor in the field. But it's that knowledge that really needs to be handed down to the next generation. And that's something that we focus on at Women in HVACR, is really making sure we're preserving the knowledge and transferring that down to the next generation of women that are coming in.
Yeah, for sure. I wanted to say this one thing that I know we're getting towards the end here is as far as how you guys recruit. Could you go over some of the ways that you guys actually recruit people to come in? I mean, are you guys at different um like the different I'm trying to think of how to say it. The different like I know trade shows. That's not what I mean. I don't know. I'm having a brain fart. I guess if you can just
Yeah.
talk about your recruitment.
Yeah. So I believe what you're trying to ask me is how we recruit new members and supporters.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Because we also do some recruitment for volunteer leaders. So I'll start with the first. So we actively participate in our organization and our trades events that happen throughout the year. Now, as anyone knows, there are a variety of shows to choose from. So we really do some strategic planning at the beginning of the year to see what capacity we have to attend. And then we focus on bringing our volunteer leaders out to these events to make sure that they are representing us as an organization for those shows throughout the nation. So we really want to make sure that we are balancing our exposure nationally. So we aren't only in one coast or the other. Sometimes the shows get a little heavy on, whether they're on the East Coast or West Coast. So we kind of balance through that. But as we do represent the full nation, we have a variety of leaders in different areas to do that, as well as we'll have our partnerships where we partner with different organizations to be at each other's events throughout the year. So there's a lot of strategic planning that goes into that, but we try to be out there at most of our leading industry shows. So that way we can not only meet members that are already in our organization and have face-to-face networking time with them, but also to recruit new members into the organization.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. And like I was telling you off air that I gotta get out to one of your national events because I've heard that they're first class, they're absolutely amazing, and I've been invited to podcast a couple of times and haven't been able to go, but I definitely want to be able to get out to one to show my support because I 100% support the movement and everything that's going on. And I've heard that the events are absolutely amazing.
Well, you'll definitely have to save the date. This year we are in Las Vegas at the Red Rocks Resort, October 6th through the 8th. So if you are making it to any shows in Vegas this year, definitely put ours top of the list.
Yeah, no, I definitely will. That'll be a lot of Vegas trips this year. And October, yeah, that's a good enough time out. I think I am gonna do that. I forget the one last year was I forget where
We
last.
were Dallas, Texas. Dallas,
Yeah,
Texas.
yeah, I thought it was down last year. Yeah, no, I've heard nothing but amazing things about them. So I'm gonna try to make that happen to be able to get out. And who says no to go into Vegas? I'm just gonna stay out of the casinos this time. Because last time I was there, AHR didn't work out, and my friends still have some pictures of me that hopefully never make it on the internet. So we'll see how that works out. um, but
Well, we are about 20 minutes off the trip at this resort. So hopefully we'll keep all of our attendees on site for the full conference.
yeah, I hope so. I was trying to think of something and I forgot. Well, I guess I want to make sure because you guys do so many amazing things that I know we can't even cover it all in an hour. Is there anything that you want to make sure that we cover before we get to these last 15 minutes that maybe I might have missed?
I would just say that if you have any questions about the organization or you want to learn more or how to partner, make sure that you check us out, womeninhvacr.org. You can message us, you can ask us better ways to promote, recruit, or retain women. And we have lots of ideas and programming around that. And we always enjoy the conversation.
No, of course. So, question came in. My buddy, just work HVAC said, so yes. So well, he said, is there a fee for you to go and is this like an invite only kind of thing? Like, can anybody come to show their support?
Yes, so you do not have to be a member to be part of our annual conference. We do have a membership fee for our organization, and that is $199 to be a member throughout the year. But then we also have sponsorships and collaborations that will provide memberships to organizations. Say, like a company that's a sponsor of ours also will receive membership. So lots of ways to be involved. Both men and women are welcome to be members as well as attendees at our events. So it's a really great time.
Yeah, yeah. And like I said, for everybody listening, like I said, I have missed some of their events, but a lot of people, you ask anybody that's went to them, and I can put you in touch with several people, podcasters. You could ask Mr. Ben Poole from HVAC Tactical, Tersh and Blissett, and Josh from the Service Business Mastery podcast. I mean, I can keep going. That they all tell me how amazing their event is, and that it's first class, which is why I want to be there so bad. Also, to show my support for what they're doing. So, if anybody has the privilege to be able to do that, I highly suggest you do, to have an amazing time, to also show your support for an amazing cause. Yeah, I mean, we're getting towards the end, Amy. I want to thank you so much for coming on here, and for what you guys do. Congratulations again on being this executive director. I mean, that's got to be a huge thing. I mean, for such an amazing organization, like a huge. I'm having so many brain farts tonight. A huge privilege. Jesus.
I definitely see it as a privilege as well as a great accomplishment. And it's wonderful to be able to wake up every day and say actively work to promote the success of women. I think just having that as, my career path has been very rewarding for me with how I've come up within the industry. And I think about it daily as how I can continue to give back even within my role. So I'm excited to be here. I was excited about the energy you have. And I was really excited to see your daughter on screen. I thought she was staying with us the whole time, because the more we can show young women that there are opportunities for them, the better.
Yeah, and that wasn't even. It's funny you say that, because that wasn't even worked out. The last 2 weeks she's been here, and I don't know where she's went because her food is still here. But but yeah, no, this is. I love what you guys do, and if I can ever be of any help, promoting or doing anything for you guys, a lot of them already know me. Please don't hesitate to reach out, as far as coming back on the show, whatever it may be. Whatever I can do to support you guys, I am 100% down to do that.
Well, perfect. Thanks so much for having me. And we'll definitely have to align the stars again next time.
Yes, for sure. No rescheduling. I promise you. Matter of fact, I don't want to take that back, because my luck, something would happen, and then I would feel like even more of an ass than I already did with what happened. But Amy, thank you so much for coming on. Thank you guys for what you do, and please stay in touch. And I am going to do my best to be out there at Red Rock for your guys' event in October.
Perfect.
Thank you. I'm going to start to close this out. Guys, thank you so much for being here. I know it's a bunch of dudes. It's not really what we normally talk about, but I do 100% believe in this organization. I have met so many amazing women on the trade, and there's so many amazing women that have been on the show that is where they've come from. Is they've come from. Well, I don't want to say that's where they come from. That's how I have got connected to meet them, is because of Women in HVACR. And I just have so much respect for all of them and what they do. And I know a lot of you are open minded and you get it, and the changing ways as far as what we're doing in the direction of the trade's moving on. So yeah, let's keep going, keep showing their support, man. If you have anybody that you work with, any ladies that you work with, any men for that matter, that want to show them support, please go check them out and just help them grow and keep doing what they're doing. I want, like, my daughters to be able to have the opportunity when they get older, if that's a choice that they decide to make. I want them to have all the resources and all the avenues open to them to be able to do that, But with that being said, man, I'm going to start to close this out. Please, real fast, make sure you follow the podcast on all the social media sites. Please like and share all these things. That way we can get out to more people. Yeah. And that's it. Also, don't forget to check out, there's the merch link down on the bottom. I'm trying to slowly adjust that to add new things, test different stuff, but there is stuff on there if anybody wants it. All right. Yeah. Guys, remember to keep your head on a swivel, man. I want each and every one of you to make it home the same way that you left. I don't care if it's drive-in, make sure the breaker's turned off. Whatever it is, please be safe. We all have somebody to make it home to. Do the little things. Set yourself apart from the next guy or girl. Try to be the best at what you do. Whether it's a podcast, a book, an YouTube video, an online course, keep trying to be the best version of you. And last but not least, just give a shit about other people. Give a poop about other people. You know, I always say this, man. If you put kindness out in the world, you get it back. Put out positivity and care about the people you work with, And I always use this because I've had this happen. If you work with a person and they're always on time to work, you work with them for 2 years and they're on time every day. And all of a sudden, a week you notice they're 10 minutes late, they're 15 minutes late, they're 30 minutes late. Something's probably going on. Ask that person, hey, man, is everything okay? Just be there for each other and give back to the industry, whether it's technical or whatever it is. Give back to somebody else, help train the next generation, and do the right thing. With that being said, man, I love each and every one of you. Have a great rest of your week, and I'll talk to you mofos next week. See ya.
Thanks for listening to the HVAC Uncensored Podcast. Don't forget to check us out on Facebook and Instagram, or email us anytime at hvacuncensored@gmail.com. Now, get back to work. Shut this down. The views and opinions shared on the HVAC Uncensored Podcast may not necessarily be the views and opinions of our sponsors or guests.
Buddy.
See you, everyone.